What's happening, people? Back with another reaction, and we're back with a group, a very short-lived group that I haven't yet reacted to on the channel. Big ups to Han Solo on this one. This is a group that I've known about for a little while through Han Solo and his knowledge of all things Vince Clarke, and apparently the producer of the Yazoo album, Eric Radcliffe, at whose house the album Upstairs at Eric was produced, and for which it was named. Which, again, according to Han Solo, while they were recording Yazoo's album Upstairs at Eric's, which you can use both in capital letters and lowercase, Depeche Mode was recording, I guess it would be a Broken Frame downstairs. So yeah, or no, if it was, yeah, it was 82, right? Or was it 83? If it was 83, then I guess it would be, whatchamacallit, I have to look up here, Construction Time Again. So yeah, I'm not sure which album they were recording, but my understanding is they were recording at his studio, which was a converted church, at the same time, and Daniel Miller was sort of, bounding back and forth between them, but that Eric Radcliffe spent most of his time producing for Yazoo, Daniel Miller was most of his time downstairs with Depeche Mode. Nevertheless, there was a short-lived project between Vince Clarke and producer slash musician Eric Radcliffe, and it was called The Assembly. Now, as far as I could tell, and if I'm remembering this correctly from Han Solo, if I'm not, I apologize, but I think it's just one EP. And in the folder that I've been given access to, there's the regular version of both of these tracks, Never Never, and then Stop Start, and then there's the extended mixes. So I'm going to listen to both extended mixes, just because I feel like, if there's such a short catalog to work with, I'd rather have, as much of it as I can, even if that's not the one that was played on the radio. I'm not sure if they got any radio play, and it seems like, it's weird. I looked on Discogs, there's like a bunch of publicity photos, so it feels like this is a project that was maybe intended to last for longer or to be more significant, but it didn't turn out that way. Maybe I'm wrong, and maybe they just took pictures, even if it was only intended to be like a one EP thing. Regardless, we're going to listen to the extended mix of Stop Start. Obviously, it's a phrase that makes reference to alternate, like binary equation, essentially, something that could be on or off, a 1 or a 0. There's only two options. So stop start, it relates to motion, so we're talking about an all or nothing absolute condition that relates to movement, stopping or starting. But I don't know, I imagine maybe this will be instrumental. Maybe the title phrase has no real lyrical or thematic relevance. Or I should say lyrical, because I suppose, you can represent a concept through sound. You don't need actual words to express it. But for some reason, I'm thinking this is going to maybe be an instrumental. I know Vince does sing. I've heard him sing for Yazoo. But I don't know if this will have lyrics. So I guess let's find out. This is The Assembly. The track is Stop Start, and it's the extended mix. Extended version, sorry. Alright. It feels very early Depeche Mode, which, would that be a surprise? I like that synth layer. A techno-ish synth. So I believe the EP was 83. So again, I guess that would be the same time the Yazoo second album was being made. God, I love this. Video game ghost in a good way. Oh yes. This just feels like a really good Depeche instrumental from the early 80s. Didn't expect the power of those three chords. This is an instant favorite. The sheer force of that synth layer is like, I'm not gonna say oppressive because that sounds bad, but it was like demanding your attention. But the rhythm of these, it's like 3 or 4 different layers and they're all part of like one sentence, like one sonic sentence. The intricacy of this composition is impressive. Why didn't they make more tunes together, man? I can hear Alison Moyet sailing over the top of this. Just like, wouldn't mind hearing her voice come in here. Genius. I love it. That was fantastic. That was like, I don't know why I'm gonna say this, but it's better than I thought it would be. I don't know why, like, I thought it might not be as good as Yazoo or Depeche. I mean, it's like, you know, it's the ingredients of both of those things. But that really was fantastic. There was an elegance to it. It's like, fucking shut up, man, I'm still going. But again, that's my thing with fade outs. Like, you're telling me the song's over, but then you're gonna spend 30 minutes like quietly walking out the door, but we're still actually playing. It's like, no, hold on, don't start talking yet, we're still playing. It's like, I can barely hear you, man. Yeah, my issue with fade outs notwithstanding, again, like, I should have known it would sound as it did in terms of the quality, but yeah, it was elegant. It had a bit of like, you know, mystery to it, I want to say, but the thing that really stood out to me is, again, there were like 3 or 4 like chime synth like bell sort of layers, and like they were different, but they combined to make this larger sentence. Like each one was just like a word or a phrase in the larger sentence. But again, you know, as someone who listens to a lot of techno and trance, that happens, right? Like, you can key in on one layer and you can hear it, or you can hear it in conjunction with like the kick drum or like one other layer, or you can let your brain zoom out and kind of hear the totality of the track. And like, I don't know, maybe, you know, some people can't like dissect it that way sonically, but it's like, you know, my brain, it's like, you know, those like memes where like you can see a subway going one way, and then if you kind of like look at it differently, like your brain can kind of see the windows going the other way. I can just sort of like, I hear this and then I hear those two and then I hear all like 5 parts, and like the songs that really sort of, I guess it's not a song, right? There wasn't any singing. Tracks that combine different layers well. I love it because it's like I can key in on the different parts. Oh, that's fantastic, and zoom out and listen to the totality. It's brilliant. So really looking forward to hearing the other tune. It is a bummer that there's only 2, but either way, shout out to Eric Radcliffe and to Vince Clarke. But yeah, bottom line, very excited to hear the second one. Shout out to Han Solo. Do let me know what you think of this extended version. And other than that, I will see you next time. Peace.